Welcome to 5 Stripe Weekly, everyone. This week we hail the MLS single-season goal-scoring king Josef Martinez, and we revel in that win over our rival DC United. Also, we preview that match against Wayne Rooney and resurgent DC United this weekend. All that and more coming up.
Welcome to the show, 5 Stripe fam. I'm AJ. This is Tanner McLeod. Before we get into it, become part of the notification squad by hitting the bell next to the subscribe button. So guys, let's get into that 2-1 win against Trash City at Trash City Stadium. And yeah, starting off, that 11 was definitely a surprise. And Julian Gressel at right back, what? But Franco Escobar suffered an injury to his right leg, and it was something that needed to happen because we're woefully short at our fullback position. And also, Ezequiel Barco started on the left, his first in 4 games. So, definitely something that is different and new.
Yeah, and not only that, we also kind of played in a 4-3-3 shape again, one might say.
Yeah.
I hope you're not wondering that I'm smiling just because we beat Orlando. I'm very happy. This is a very smug face. You're welcome, Atlanta. You're welcome. Why are you welcome? Well, I'll just let you see this clip right here of me saying a little something special. If Gressel's playing right back, which I think is something that Atlanta United should really think about experimenting with, considering we've played him everywhere else, at home against a team that's decent, that's looking to break, I would rather have Gressel there because he's shown that he can track back and work hard, and he offers you more offensively going forward than an Escobar. His crossing's better, his movement's better, everything in that attacking sense of the ball is better than Escobar, and he works back. And as he showed playing as a right wing back, defensively, is he can he get exposed? Yes. But so can Escobar because of his poor positioning. So I think that could be something that could be interesting to see because I think him and Tito could combine really well on that right-hand side against a team that might not be as good, that might sit in deep and doesn't have the quality of, say, Portland. Cough, cough, Orlando City this weekend. So yeah, like I said, we should put Julian Gressel at right back. I was on that train back in June. I also was on the train of us playing 4-3-3. It's amazing how those things work when we do it. It's not saying I'm a genius or anything. I just play a lot of Football Manager. Nah. All things considered, I am so happy. We play this way. I mean, it does feel nice to be able to say, you're right. It's a very fulfilling, nice little thing to say. So I am going to toot my own horn here. But the fact that we actually did do this, it's not shocking because Tata's played in this way before at his previous clubs. This is a shape that's very familiar with the style of play that he likes. You know, his mentor, Marcelo Bielsa, he is crazy with formations, but a lot of the time the base of things can be a 4-3-3. Tata took that from him when he's at Barca. They traditionally play in a 4-3-3 pretty much all the time. That's just how they do it there. And, it's a really balanced formation. I love it, and the fact that Atlanta has adopted it and then played Julian Gressel at right back, like I said we should, because wasn't he incredible? Everyone on Monday is like, Julian Gressel, is he Atlanta's best right back? I told you this months ago. You should have listened to me. You heard it here first. Atlanta United Fan TV. We have the opinions that proved to be true. But yeah, it was awesome, man. And Gressel was fantastic. And it's just like, I think that was probably the best 11 we have right now out there, attacking-wise, going forward. I think that the more we play that way, the better they'll get. The final scoreline was flattering, I think, to Orlando. I think Atlanta were the better team the whole time. We controlled that game. That last 10 minutes was very professional, the way they controlled it. Yeah, I'm just over the moon. It was a great win, and I'm really thinking that we're starting to hit in that right direction and playing the way that we can play and picking up some points.
Yeah, okay, it's a last place team. I mean, we have to put that caveat out there. I mean, this is not a very good team at all by any means, but is it satisfying? Absolutely, because it's a team that wants to get something over us. It was rivalry week.
Whatever that means when we're involved with Orlando.
Exactly. But I think in the end, yes, you're right. It did flatter them a little bit. They did come on against us in the second half. It was, we kind of let them in the game a little bit.
Because he made a great save, though. That was a fantastic save.
Oh, yeah.
That's one of his better saves that he's made, to be honest. Especially when you see the replay. I mean, the reactions there were incredible.
Agreed.
And that would have been really frustrating to have them get back into that game because I didn't think they deserved it.
Right.
I mean, even that first goal that they had, it was a good goal, but it was just like, really?
Yeah, no, it was just defensive lapse. But, let's get into the breakdown of, the first goal, which was very interesting, and of course, the new father, gets a goal, and he's you know, LGP, just a guy who I think, you know, he's got that scoring intent. He wants to score every single time he's in the box, you know, coming over for a corner or a free kick. And, you know, he got on the end of this one. He bundled it home, but, you know, it's there in the net nonetheless.
Yeah, I mean, it's just it's just a simple set play from the left-hand side. Crossed in. Bendik, I don't know what he's doing here. This is a really poor effort from a goalkeeper. I don't really care, though, because like you said, it finds its way to LGP and he gets into the back of the net 1-0. Honestly, at that point, I thought we were off the races. I thought it was just going to be more goals after that.
Right.
And unfortunately, it took a while to get them to come. You know, Orlando does get that equalizer, and that's a frustrating goal to concede, especially when Atlanta United were cruising in the first half.
Yeah, I mean, you know, we absolutely, I don't think it's a goal that we normally should have conceded, but I mean, I think in this run lately, still though, we are susceptible to, you know, getting scored on, and so allowing a team like Orlando, that's really, you know, I think the bummer is that we didn't get a clean sheet here.
Yeah, I mean, the ball comes down the right-hand side, and I think the play did end-to-end at times. So a little bit of space there in the middle, and honestly, he's not going to catch this ball much better than he did. There's not much you can do when someone hits a ball like that. There's not much of a chance for the keeper to save it. So it was frustrating to go in, you know, 1-1 like that. But I mean, it just set it up for you know who to do you know what against those guys in Florida. And honestly, that's the goal that probably might be my favorite goal he's ever scored.
Yeah, no, exactly. It's just it's so filthy, and especially, you know, everything that you know, ends with it. But let's, you know, start at the beginning of it. You know, you have Gressel, you know, starting that play, playing a 1-2 with Villalba, and then just you know, cutting in, you know, running into space and
driving at the defense.
Yeah, driving at the defense, and that's really when we are so dangerous, when we are just so direct. And Miguel Miron makes a beautiful run to the right, drawing all three defenders essentially. And you know, Josef Martinez gets a almost free run until, you know, the defender's Spectre, you know, picks him back up. But you know, that little bit of a chop and
a little bit of a chip.
Yeah.
Oh, God. And then the look.
Yes.
Oh, the look. Oh, my goodness.
That's my favorite part, is that stare down.
Oh, it's like, you thought I was going to do something. I didn't, and I made you look stupid. Also, you should just quit because your career's over.
And I just made history on you.
On you.
In your stadium, especially when you said you didn't want to concede us.
That was just, honestly, just pure filth, just from Josef Martinez. No respect was given. It was just so brutal.
Yeah.
Oh, what a goal! What a goal!
Indeed. And then the celebration, you know, it's the GOAT celebration almost at this point, because you know, Lionel Messi has done it, Cristiano Ronaldo has done it, and you know, when you pull up your jersey and you know you show it to the crowd,
especially in your rival stadium, for them to know who's their daddy, one might say.
Oh yeah, it's just lovely scenes. But yeah, I mean, and that really, you know. There is a case to be made, maybe for you know, some of the players in this match, who is the man of the match, but it's tough to go against the person that made history.
It's him. Know? It's Josef. I mean, he has his goal. He was involved multiple times. He could have easily scored more than one.
Yeah, he almost scored on the LGP goal.
Yeah, I mean, so it's just an incredible player. And when you score a goal like that, when you break a record, when you become the king. There can't be anyone else that's man of the match.
I agree. And you know, of course, the obligatory team selfie after a win at Orlando Stadium. It was you know, just comedy. Just, you know, you have Brad Guzan doing the Dele Alli. You know,
attempting to do the Dele Alli.
Yeah, it was just, oh my God. Just you know, it's funny, but yeah.
Wrong way, Brad.
Yeah, wrong way. It's all good. But that second Dele Alli, you know, finger thing.
Let's just stop talking about Dele Alli.
I know, probably right.
I don't want to talk about Dele Alli or anyone involved in Tottenham. They can,
It's true.
Yeah.
It's true. But yeah, I mean, you know, I think this game is just you know, I think a good momentum shifter type of match, and especially, I mean, you know, it continues our road warrior form that we've had all year, and so you know, it's something that I think will carry into the weekend against a very resurgent team. But yeah, you know, so getting into the quotes, Tata Martino definitely was saying how important this goal for Josef Martinez was to really get that monkey off his back, even though it wasn't really on his back for very long. But you know, it's he really thought that it was going to calm his nerves and just allow us to focus on the supporter shield, which is, you know, one of the main goals this year.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, it's nice to have this record. But now that it's out of the way and everyone's like, when will he break it? What game will he break it in? He's just going to go on and keep scoring goals and keep doing what he's going to be doing, and the team's just going to keep kicking on. And they're playing teams, you know, these next few games on this little road trip that they should beat. I mean, you have DC, you're going to have Colorado, you're going to have San Jose. Colorado just had 6 goals plus past them by Real Salt Lake. So I expect that he can get on the goal, you know, the goal scoring, you know, train out there, maybe back himself another hat trick. Who knows? I mean, that plus the shape that they're playing, I think we're going to see more of Gressel at right back, and I really hope that we keep the pedal to the metal, keep pressing teams high, because he also, I think, gives you more energy than Escobar, at least a more disciplined energy, and he combined really well with Tito down the right-hand side. So it's like, I think that these things will start getting worked out more and more as they play against teams that they should beat. I think they're going to try to go for that, you know, that points record for the road. You know, if they keep playing this way, they're going to try to go for the points record overall. I mean, they're finally starting to kick into gear. Mind you, know, yeah, Orlando wasn't very good, or they're not very good. Still a good win. They beat a Columbus team that had been playing well. I mean, now they're going to go play a DC team in their new stadium that have honestly been playing pretty well. So it's like, get another win there, and honestly, they're on a really good roll. And they could, you know, rack up a bunch of points and keep that momentum going into the playoffs. So they started, hopefully, I mean, they peaked around September last year, but hopefully they're picking up that steam, and this year, with that experience and staying healthy, they can continue that on into the playoffs.
Yeah, and I think definitely with the boost from all the injured players, I think, you know, in the latter part of September and then, you know, October, I think we'll maybe peak a little later this year, and it'll definitely be a little bit more helpful.
Well, thankfully, you have players coming back around that time as well. You're going to have a Garza, you're going to have a Nagby coming back, and it's like, they're coming back. Their problem is, can they get up to match fitness quickly? And I think that they'll be able to, because they'll be put right back into that fire.
Yep.
But it's like when you have players coming back around that time, so you're getting that boost. I mean, let's see what they can do.
It's good rest for the players that are, you know, playing week in, week out in the 11. So it's just, I think it all bodes well. But yeah, we'll leave you with one last quote from this game that is just the quotes of them all, I think.
Josef Martinez is just that guy. Like, this was the most disrespectful performance I've ever seen from a player against the team. I mean, not only do you do that, you look at them, you hold your jersey up, you just make them look foolish.
Yeah.
And then you go and you just say this.
Yeah, he says, every time we play Orlando City, they play like it's a game of their lives, and we continue to be their daddy. Yeah, I mean, you know, there was another translation that said, and we continue to father them. Either one.
It's hilarious.
Great.
It's just fantastic. It's genuinely, I love that guy. It's just like,
it really, cements that, you know, unfiltered Josef Martinez is the best Josef Martinez. Yeah, it really is. So, yeah, getting into, you know, a little bit more in-depth Josef Martinez. Yeah, he, you know, so he becomes the single-season scoring champion with 28, and, you know, long live the king, because, you know, we don't know how many more he's going to score, but I mean, you know, with 8 games left, it's going to be just, you know, how far is it going to be unreachable, really, at this point?
Hopefully, it puts a record up there that no one else is going to break. I mean,
if he's going to break it himself.
Or if exactly, that he can break himself, which I can't even imagine a goal-scoring season where he scores more than he's scoring right now.
I know,
if he does, hoping that means that we're winning a lot of titles in a row.
Oh, for sure. Because that really is what it's going to mean. And, you know, you would expect maybe some of the other players that maybe had a down year to have, you know, even a better year, you know, the following year. So it could even be even better. But, yeah, Josef Martinez also tied Diego Valeri of the Portland Timbers last year with 9 consecutive games that he scored in. And, you know, he has a really good chance scoring against DC United next week, especially against that poor defense. So, really good stuff as well. And, you know, Josef Martinez's 28 goals this year leads the world. You know, that's just insane. Like, you know,
above Ronaldo, above Messi,
exactly,
above that random guy in some random country in some league you've never heard of who still scored a bunch of goals and is being scouted by some team in Europe.
Right, and
he has the most.
Yeah, the most in this calendar year, I should say. And so that's really insane stuff. I mean, you know, this is kind of this prolific pace that you know, is he gonna be able to replicate? We'll see. But
hopefully,
you know, it's definitely fun to see right now. And so you know, long live the king, as we say. So into the news, you know, more Josef Martinez. He has been named MLS Player of the Week and also named into the MLS Team of the Week. And, you know, his goal is up for the MLS Goal of the Week, so go ahead and vote that in.
We better damn well win because we didn't win last week.
Exactly.
We need to step the game up.
That was a shame. That was definitely a shame. Yeah, Albert Rusnak of Real Salt Lake.
That was a good goal. I will give him that. That was a really good goal.
And to be fair, I mean, Orlando City's goal is up for it this week, and it was a good goal.
Yeah, but it didn't break a record, and it wasn't a match winner. And in the end, it meant nothing. Just little moment of satisfaction for people wearing purple.
Exactly. So, you know, I think, you know, it's gonna win it, but, you know, just make sure, guys, and go ahead and vote. We'll leave the link in the description box below. And moving on, LGP, you know, he's happy to be a father. He just had his daughter Amelia, and, you know, it's something that, yeah, I mean, with the game and with, you know, each practice and game and stuff like that, it can be distracting when you're, you know, you're a father. I'm not a father myself, and I don't think you are. I mean,
nope, no kids.
You haven't told me anything, but
it'd be shocking news to me.
Yeah, and so, you know, it'd be difficult for anybody, but yeah, I mean, once you know, first have a kid, I imagine it's, you know, you want to be with the kid, you know, all the time, and so he talked about in Dirty South Soccer's article today that, yeah, you know, he can't wait to get home and just, you know, hang out with her in the, you know, entire night essentially. But he leaves, you know, practice at practice, and, you know, he concentrates on being a father at home. I think that's just, you know, he's got his mind right.
To be fair, I mean, he went and visited his other child on Friday, and hopefully that child doesn't like him as much. But, you know, it is what it is. It's fine. Yeah. But to move on to the next bit, move on to the next bit that also I'm very happy about. Mercedes-Benz Stadium is going to be in FIFA 19.
Yes.
Josef Martinez has a face in FIFA 19.
That's cool. That's great.
Tito Villalba also has a face in FIFA 19.
Yeah.
I am excited. I'm going to be playing a lot more with Atlanta this year because part of me is just like that, being able to play in the stadium and just to have the bins there. I mean, it's like they already had it in flipping Madden, so they couldn't have been too hard to bring it over to the other game.
It's true. It's true.
But, I'm excited. It's still cool. Like, unfortunately, I don't think you'll have the option to make it 70,000. That'd be cool. Be like, full, half full, roof open, roof closed.
It's true, yeah. Like, you don't really have that option in EA Sports in FIFA 19. But yeah, you know, we should say that this is rumored, but it's a pretty good rumor.
It looks legit.
It's got some you know, actual visual evidence. But you know, I think it's something of like, what else would you like to see from the stadium though? Like anything kind of unique in particular? I
mean, I think it'd be cool like if they could. I know, like, in, like, the Champions League stuff, they always have, like, tifos, like, during those things. It'd be cool if they somehow managed to do some, like, coordination in our stadium, because we always have some. Like, and all the German teams, they always have, like, the flags, like, in their sections behind the goal. Which is funny, because I've kind of banged on about how I think we have too many flags sometimes. But, I mean, I'm not going to get into that today. But, like, I think it'd still be cool if they had them there, because it is an authentic field, just to kind of see that. But, you know, hopefully it has, like, dynamic times, like, because sometimes certain stadiums you can only play at certain times of the day. So hopefully they have, like, light and night, so you can see like maybe like the view of the city kind of light shining through, because it happens in Madden. So.
Yeah, or if they did our flashlight party thing. You know,
that'd be sick.
So, I mean, you know, there's a lot to look forward to, and hopefully, you know, FIFA 19 lives up to what it promises. But
I have to finish FIFA 18 first. I'm doing really well with Manchester United, which is the only place they do well anymore. But that's something else entirely, and I don't want to get into that. But that's
sad. A whole other podcast. But yeah, and so also to wrap up the news segment. Former Academy player Zion Jones has signed his first pro contract with FC Schalke. Now he was already over there with you know, their setup already, but now he's signed an actual contract, so that's really good on you know, in terms of, you know, the type of talent that's coming from our academy. So that's really, you know, that's good. I mean, it's something that I think though, you know, obviously we didn't really want to just lose him on a free to you know, a really big European team like FC Schalke, but you know, it's something that happens because we don't have enough space in our stuff to just accommodate and sign every single player, but you know, it bodes well for the players that are coming through our system. So, you know,
he just joins them. I mean, there's so many Americans going over to Germany right now for training, so it's like to get with clubs. So and that's a good trend, hopefully, for us as a nation going forward for soccer. But I'd love if those players came up to Atlanti's academy, then played a season or two for the first team, and then moved over. That would be a lot nicer to see.
Agreed. But it's also, you know, are they getting the chances? That's a whole other argument. So, you know, we'll move on from that. But into the injury report, guys. Franco Escobar is probably out a few weeks with a right quad injury, and so that is very, very worrisome, of course. And you know, we also have you know, Brandon Vasquez missing from the setup. Apparently he got injured a few weeks ago.
And then Chris Goslin as well with an ankle injury. Originally, they thought it was a bit worse, but I think he's going to be back a lot sooner in the next few weeks. So hopefully he's healthy, because that'd be a lot better for ATL UTD
too, for sure. Yeah,
because God knows they need players.
Right.
But I mean, Escobar, I think, is frustrating, but honestly, I think it's a bit of a blessing in disguise, because it forced Tata to play Julian Gressel there, and we might have discovered just another thing that he's incredible at that makes the team better, and you can figure out how to get all those attacking players on the field at the same time.
Yeah, I mean, Julian Gressel really hasn't put a foot wrong this season in any position that he's been deployed in, and so, yeah, I mean, it could be really a blessing in disguise when, you know, we really need that attacking intent. You know, so it depends on who, you know, gets the start, obviously, later on in the season, but you know, having those options, and then when the options come back, of course, it'll be, you know, a dearth of options at our hand. And speaking of Atlanta United 2 and the shortness in the depth, yeah, I mean, it's just, it's woeful over there right now. We've had to use academy players and bring them in, which is a good thing, but the Wednesday game against FC Cincinnati, they lost 5-1, but the one caveat is that Sean Nicola blast from the parking lot, which is up for the USL Goal of the Week this week. And
seems to be a lot of that with the, they don't score a lot of goals, but when they do, they're bangers. Strictly bangers. Only bangers.
Exactly, but yeah. And I guess maybe it's like, it adds into that maybe disparity of like, you know, we just hit it and hope. But yeah, and I think this is like the second one that Nicola has hit this season from distance like that, and it's like 30 yards out. Hell, dude, vote it the winner, guys. But the next game was, you know, a little bit better, fared a little bit better. Yeah, you had a 1-1 draw against Indy 11. And, you know, congratulations to Dylan Gaither, who comes from the academy, got his first pro goal, and what a dramatic one to get, yeah. And, you know, it was another academy player that played him in with the ball over the top, and, you know, he very coolly played it around the Indy 11 defense. And, you know, a little slide for the, you know, the game-tying goal as well, so... You know, congratulations to Dylan Gaither, and congratulations to fellow academy players Niall McDonald and Luke Mitchell, who made their professional debuts.
And guys, getting into the standings, finally, all the three teams that we actually care about, being New York Red Bull, NYCFC, and of course Atlanta United, have all played the same number of matches, so we can actually compare ourselves directly now. It's fantastic! Yeah. And not only that, we're in first place. We are now on 54 points, 1 point shy of our total haul from last season with 8 games to go, so that's some real improvement. And then 2 points behind us, we have New York Red Bull, and then a nice little 6-point gap to NYCFC. Obviously, we've all played the same number of games now. That being said, Red Bull are a lot closer in goal difference to us than we are to City. So honestly, it's looking like it's going to be a little bit more of that Red Bull Atlanta United match, and like we've been saying for the past couple weeks, that supporter shield's probably going to come down to what happens in that match in New Jersey in a few weeks' time. Unfortunately, they did get a win against DC this past weekend. I was hoping DC could get a win. But it shows you what kind of team that will be playing this weekend against DC. You know, the games are coming thick and fast for them, but they're playing good teams and they're getting results right now. And they're playing a lot better than they were, and they're making a push for that 6th playoff spot. But as it stands, United on 54 points, so 1 point off again. So we're going to smash our points total from last year. But the question is now, playing like we're playing, can we keep putting them together and go for that total record and, you know, outdo Toronto from last year?
Yeah. But an interesting little graph from the dummy run from Twitter sees that, man, Atlanta United are far and away exceeding what Toronto FC did last year, and it's not even close.
The expected goals a game and the expected goals you're winning by is higher. The number of points per game is higher. I mean, Atlanta United are doing a number on the league right now, and I think we have been, me especially, we've been critical at times because the team hasn't been playing well as they possibly could, which is crazy to think when a team is doing this. But it also raises the point of when they finally do figure it out, which I think they're in the process of doing right now, I don't know if there's anyone in this league that can stop them.
Yeah, I mean, the only team that I'm really worried about is New York Red Bulls. So,
hopefully we don't see them in the playoffs and someone else can beat them.
Exactly.
And then we can play someone else and then beat them.
Yeah, because they do struggle against teams that bunker against them. So here we go. Let's see that happen.
Then again, they haven't played us. I don't think when United are playing their best. I mean, you caught them first game of the season last year. You caught them a bit of an injury crisis, and controversially they beat us obviously in the bins this year. And then last year that draw that was incredible. I mean, it turned out from how is Atlanta United not up multiple goals to how is Atlanta United not conceded more goals.
Right.
But I mean, it's been a competitive series, and they've gotten the better of Atlanta United so far. So I think these players are going to be itching to set that record straight as well. And I think that if they can go in and beat Red Bull, then that really nails their colors to the massive. Hey, we're here. We mean business. We want to win this thing.
Right. No, it's definitely a collision course, and excited to see what happens later on in the season. But let's move on to our mailbag questions. You guys send in your questions through IG story. Thank you guys for doing that. And next time we do that, send them in, and your question might get answered on this show. But first question comes from Luis360. He says, "I hate Orlando SC more than blank."
I don't really care. They've never beat us. They're terrible, and they're 31 points behind us. So, yeah. I hate Tottenham more than them. How about that? I hate Tottenham more than them.
Okay, fair enough, fair enough. Next question comes from Jose the Panda. That's an awesome name. Do you think Park the Bus will affect Atlanta during the playoffs?
Teams are going to do that, especially when we play them at home. I think that putting Gressel at right back is going to be just another hammer to that because he's going to give you a lot more on the overlap. What kind of delivery you're getting from the right-hand side. He combines with Tito a lot better than Escobar does. I think if you have a Garza coming back on the left side, you can go very attacking with that, and then you bring in a Nagby to play in midfield. I think Atlanta United are going to be very strong going forward, and I think that by playing the way they're playing now, playing that new shape with the fullbacks getting involved that way, I think even if teams park the bus, there's so many options and so many balls coming from so many different areas that it'll be hard to beat. And I think that Atlanta United will figure that out. And I think that when teams try to park the bus at home, I think you'll see that with Real Salt Lake. That'll be a good barometer just because they're going to be very, very tucked in. And if we can, smash that with a sledgehammer, I think that maybe we can put those worries to bed because going forward, this team is incredible. I mean, it has quality in all positions, especially when Garza is there, attacking-wise going forward. There's a bit, space at the back, obviously, with that, but going forward, I don't think anyone has as many weapons in as many positions as Atlanta. Yeah. Because every position can attack.
Yeah, and I think also with our holding midfielder, if we do maybe play Eric Rometti instead of Jeff Lorenowitz when we know we're going to have a team that's really going to bunker, I think those counterattacks are going to be squashed a little bit easier because there's a little bit more pace with Rometti, and so,
he's quick into attack on. His positioning has been very good so far from what I've seen. I've been very impressed with what he's done in this team. He's really just fit in so well.
Exactly, yeah, and so, he's been that almost Carmona glove that we needed. But next question and last question comes from James Rogers 26. He asks, likelihood of Martinez moving back to Europe?
So there's been a lot of this.
There's been rumors.
You had Stuart Holden on the Fox broadcast say that he can confirm that there's a lot of interest from teams in Europe.
Of course there is.
Of course there is when you score this many goals. Yeah. I'm just gonna go. I don't think it's much of a hot take. He's not going anywhere this year. The summer window closes for European teams on Friday. Most of them have already had their windows closed. Italy's is already closed. England's already closed. You saw France, Spain, and Germany that are hanging out. He's not going anywhere. No amount of money right now, unless it was just absolutely insane, and no one's going to offer that much money for him because Atlanta want to win, and I think he's happy in Atlanta. I mean, obviously, if the right offer comes in and it's worth it, then he has to think about that, and that's something that he'll have to take into consideration. If a big club over there is offering you big money and it's a good situation, you have to take that. At the end of the day, though, Arthur Blank has a lot of money. He can pay Josef Martinez a lot of money because he's a DP. He loves it here. It's a second home. We all love him. He scores loads of goals and seems to be having fun, even though, you know, he looks angry all the time. I think he's happy. I don't think he's going anywhere. And I think he's going to stay in Atlanta for a very long time. And I think he's going to become MLS all-time goal scorer for goals, period.
I love it. I love it. Yeah, and, you know, the likelihood is, you know, I think strong with that because, yeah, he's said so a lot. He's answered that question a lot. So, you know, I think definitely not this year. I mean...
Again, I think he's fine staying here unless the right offer comes in for him. Because, I mean, it's like, again, he can make pretty much as much money here as he would anywhere else unless it was a massive team, like a top team. And, I mean, with the form he's in right now, he could play for those teams. But, I mean, unless one of those top big teams came in, it was like, look, here's like 50 million, hypothetically, or something. And it's like, we're going to pay you like 15 a year before tax, you know, 7, 8 after that. And it's like, wow, that's a big offer. Then if you're Atlanta, I mean, but at the same time, it's like if Atlanta offered him 5, which, you know, he's worth that. And you see how much, you know, Toronto players make. He's worth that. I mean, I think he would sacrifice a bit of money to, you know, stay somewhere where he's happy, where he loves it, and you know,
and the fans
have
are
a family here one day.
Yeah, true, exactly. But guys, let's get into our Wasteman of the Week.
Yep, Wasteman of the Week. Pretty simple. Orlando City. Because, well, multiple reasons. One, they said they weren't going to let Josef score a goal. He scored a goal. Bendik, because that keeping was terrible, and then he got punished for trying to be too clever with Josef by, oh, he's going to go. No, crap. And then he gets stared at into oblivion. You should hang him up because Josef made you look foolish. Also, their most historic night didn't actually involve them, but the most historic game in Orlando history was on Friday, and it was because Atlanta United, their rival, had a player score to get the most goals in a single season in front of them and hold his jersey up like the legend that he is, and also because they're 31 points behind us, which is more points than they have total. Yeah, there's not much going on, so we've got a lot, you've got a little. Is it a rivalry? No. Moving on.
Yeah, and, you know, I think that just puts a big punctuation on that game completely as we move on into our match preview against DC United on Sunday, 7:30 at Audi Field. It's our first foray into that new stadium, which, to be fair, looks really, really nice.
When it's not falling apart and injuring people.
Yeah. You know, that's very unfortunate, but, yeah, I mean, you know, it does look very, very nice. But, yeah. Anyway, you know, we run into Wayne Rooney, we run into Yamil Assad, maybe, and, you know, Luciano Acosta, and, you know, it's a good attack. It's a good attack, but, I think it's, you know, it's a team that's also, you know, on the rise, vying for a playoff spot. They're 8th now, and you know, they're out of the cellar, and they're you know, getting close.
They've got games in hand. I mean, they've got games in hand. They're a dangerous team right now. They put really 4 past Portland a couple weeks back. They unfortunately lost to Red Bull. They had that dramatic win over Orlando City. I mean, they've been playing well since they moved into that building. They have a lot of games at home. The crowd are behind them. I mean, Wayne Rooney's doing something that I don't think a lot of people expected. He's playing really well. I think he's really made the players around him better and more confident as well. Acosta is just an absolute menace. I don't like that guy at all. I mean, he absolutely owned us when he played at Bobby Dodd last season, even though he's like 2 inches taller than Gimli in Lord of the Rings. But, like, I mean, they're a talented team, and I think they're going to be in the playoffs. And I think they're a team that we could see in the playoffs, you know, if they win that wild card game. Because I think they're going to be dangerous. Because going forward, they do have talent. But at the back, they're not very good. So, in my opinion, you know, I think we should go at them again. Same lineup, press them high up the field. I don't think they'll be happy with that. I don't think they're good enough to deal with that. Win the ball back up high, put their defense under pressure, and score a few goals.
Yeah. And, I mean, you know, so we have, you know, 2 previous matches against them. It was both 3-1 wins at the Benz, which is, you know, I think we've reversed what kind of voodoo they've had on us since last year, but you know, we have no idea how it's going to go at their new home, and so especially, you know, they have Bill Hamid back, which you know, he's the keeper that kept us out last year, and
thought he was leaving.
Yeah, I know, right? And then
Interesting
yeah,
situation.
he came back in that really awkward you know, kind of situation. But you know, is what it is. But Yamil Assad, you know, he injured his ankle. You know, in training, and so he may not play against Philadelphia Union this week, and so it also means maybe he might not play against
I
Atlanta
hope he
United.
doesn't. That'd be nice because he has played well against Atlanta so far in the previous game.
He has. Although maybe it almost feels like he's like an inside man so far, because he also hasn't really, you know, scored scored against us and had an assist. So it's like.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, I think he's been decent, but I
Right.
mean, for us, I think we go with the same 11 that we trotted out against
think
Orlando.
so.
I think you're going to see Russell at right back again.
You know,
You
I think
know.
we're limited in our options as well.
To be fair, yeah, we're limited on our options, but I think we just need to keep on, press up high, win the ball back, be aggressive, get up in teams' faces. You know, we're better than them. We know that. Attack them and go at them. And I'd like to complete that sweep. They beat us all 3 times last season. I'd like to beat them all 3 times this season. So prediction-wise, you know, going into it, how do you feel about it?
I am not as bullish about this game because they've been so good at Audi Field, and you know, it's something that you know, Wayne Rooney, you know, maybe in front of those home fans there. I don't know. I mean, I have it as a draw. I have it as a 2-2 draw. There's gonna be goals, maybe even 3-3, but I'm gonna stick with 2-2. And I think, yeah, unfortunately, we don't get the win in this one. But I mean, we're still picking up points on the road, or a point. I think it's good.
I'm going to be a little bit more bullish, though. I think United are going to get the win. I think they're playing well on the road. They're confident. They're happy to go into other people's buildings and spoil the night for them and get those 3 points. They've shown that. I think the team is playing with confidence, and I think they're playing in a slightly different style that teams are going to have to get used to. It's more aggressive. It's more straightforward. And I think DC are going to they're going to want to get those points as well. So I think it's going to be an open game. I think Atlanta are going to get the space they need to operate in and do well. DC will probably score. I think Atlanta United are going to win 2-1. I think we're going to get opportunities. I think we will score. They'll score once, but
Do you think Joseph's going to score?
I think Joseph will score. I think he's going to get I mean, right now, it's just foolery to bet against the guy to score. I mean, I hope he breaks another record just to add that to what he's doing, but he's so confident right now. The team's confident in him. And again, if you give him space, now especially when you see how calm and composed he is to chop a guy, chip him, he has no fear in front of anyone. So I think that Atlanta getting at them, I think we can get 3 points, and Joseph can get another goal.
Yep. Definitely. And that gets us into our question of the day. So
and yes, our question of the day actually, shockingly enough, involves Josef Martinez. And the question is, if Josef Martinez doesn't score another goal, does he still win the Golden Boot? And by how many goals? Personally, I think he's going to keep scoring. I think he's going to score probably 7, 8 more, hopefully, and set that bar around 35. But if he didn't, would he still win Golden Boot? And how many goals would he win it by?
That's a really, really good question, man. So, you know, leave us comments in the comments below. And, guys, that's it for us today. Remember to subscribe if you haven't already. Share this video because it really does help us a lot. And smash that like button. And for Tanner McLeod, I'm AJ. Thank you guys so much for watching.